I'm getting the hang of this filming. Okay, what to talk about? What are some of the things that I did that helped us become wealthy? Well, for one, where to start? Oh, I know, attractor spending. I was a debt junkie going back. I started out probably in worse condition than most other people. I felt I deserved it. When I first made money, I spent it. My husband, not quite the same way. We were a bit different. But when we met back in 2001, I was a complete spender. I mean, I went to Paris with no money in the bank. I took advantage of flights, and literally a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, he watched my car because I live in Brooklyn, New York, and there is alternate side parking, so the cars need to be moved. So I let him watch my car while I was away, and it got towed because it was parked. I think he had parked it too close to a pump. I came back from Paris, and I had to pay exorbitant fees to get it out of impound. What they charge you is sort of criminal. The poor get charged constantly, and I was poor. I literally had to borrow money from my credit cards as much as I could and still did not have enough money to get my car out of being impound. So I went to Paris completely broke. Yeah, I can't believe I did that. But this is back in 2001. And I had to borrow money from my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, to get the rest of the money to get my car out. That was the kind of spender I was. I lived well above my means. I think my rent was $650 and my take home pay was $700. Yep, that was me. I had to work extra jobs just to make ends meet, just to have enough money to pay my bills. But I wasn't paying my bills. I defaulted on my student loans. Do you know anyone who defaulted on their student loans? That was me. To get myself out of default status, they tagged on an extra 18% to my loan. Well, after I met my husband, I didn't want to be that person anymore. I was living too close to the edge. He ended up moving in with me, and so that significantly lowered my burden on the rent. I had a car payment at the time was $271 a month. I no longer have a car payment, folks. I could buy my cars outright. I got myself out of student loan. I switched my job. I only made a certain amount of money. I did what I started needed to do, and I started to really, really track my spending. So I have spending journals going back. Let's see how many are here. Let's say 2627, 209, 210, 211, 212. Let's just go into one of my spending journals. You gotta track. I wrote down my spending for every single day of the year. And I would really attempt to have days of no spend, but spending days are even days where you pay your bills. Boy, that was fun when I had no spend days. But I tracked my spending. You need to track your spending when you are trying to get yourself out of debt. You need to change your ways when you're trying to get yourself out of debt. We paid for our wedding in cash. While he was not a very big spender, he also wasn't a very big saver. And so once I learned how to fix my finances, I sure helped him fix his too, including maxing out his retirement, which at the time he had not been doing. He probably spends a little bit more than I do now, but he doesn't overspend. He doesn't have the same kind of want monster as I do. I mean, there are things that I want that I don't, I still want to get. I'm just a bit more careful in what I get and buy. I don't buy anything that's going to put me into debt. Yeah, I just don't. If I can't pay for it outright, oops, I dropped my clicker. If I can't pay for it outright, then I'm just not going to buy it. If I can't justify buying it, for instance, if I'm not going to use it, then I don't buy it. I buy what I need. Our apartment is kind of small. We ended up buying this place after we got married in 2007 at the height of the market. And at the time, which is completely out of debt, it took me a little, I think I ended up having $36,000 worth of student loans. It took me just a couple of years before our wedding in 2005 to pay off our student loans, my student loans, and get myself completely out of debt and start saving money, start saving before I spent. Yeah, tracking. Tracking is the number one way of making sure your money is going to where it needs to go. I still track to this day. I'm just not as diligent about it as far as writing down every single penny that comes in and out of my life, like your money or your life, which I read that and that was like mind blowing to me at the time. Yeah, 7 minutes, talking for 7 minutes. I don't do eight. Nah, not yet, not yet. I'm gonna have to probably re-record this because I probably went off in a tangent somewhere. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is Regina at Simply Fundamental Personal Finance for you, from to you from the perspective of perhaps a millionaire next door to you.